ask you about the idea of priming the pump for the economy. There's a few points of your NEED Act here that we want to go through, that you want to create the monetary authority, create full employment economy, abolish the creation of money by private persons through lending against deposits, enable the federal government to invest or lend new money into circulation, incorporate the Federal Reserve into the executive branch. But another provision I read in there was this initial monetary dividend provision. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, we don't have to have any poverty. I mean, we could guarantee that people have the ability to be able to support their families if they fall on tough times. Why should we have poverty in America?
And is that what this provision does? Is this a direct stimulus into the...
Exactly. That's exactly right.
To what number? I mean, how much money are we talking about?
For whatever we need. That's the point. We have control over this, and it's whatever we need. We have an unlimited...
Wouldn't Republicans say that the government's just going to ask for whatever you'll be willing to give?
Oh, no. No. I mean, there's obviously management. There has to be a monetary authority that just, you know, today you want to decide how much money should go into the economy, but what does it go for is the question. And so there would be a way of managing it, but guess what? Instead of, and I think the Republicans are concerned about this, instead of looking at a central bank, which is a rule and a law unto itself, which doesn't really have a connection to the practical aspirations of people. You know, when the Federal Reserve was created, this was supposed to have something to do with having a moderating effect, at least an encouraging effect, to create jobs. Hasn't done that. And what the Fed's famous for is looking the other way while the banks were pyramiding their assets and exposing the American economy to the kind of precipitous drop it took at the end of 2008.
Concerned about political influence on the central bank? This is from the Financial Times today. Republicans warned the central bank on stimulus, that they sent a letter over to the Fed essentially warning them not to do another stimulus.
Well, look, I look at that as episodic as compared to what I'm proposing, which is a broad change that would finally regain control of our country from Wall Street and the banks. This is really a question of a democracy. You cannot have a political democracy if you don't have an economic democracy. And with poverty growing in America, with more Americans going to bed hungry, with more Americans losing their jobs, with more Americans losing their homes, with retirement security in jeopardy for so many Americans, we have to get control of the levers of monetary power in order for us to be able to move the economy forward in the interests of the American people. But when we have China outpacing us in the creation of new high-tech jobs, when we have to go to other countries to borrow money to be able to have the economy going, something's wrong here. And my bill that I put in, it's H.R. 2990, the NEED Act, is a step, a dramatic step in a direction to finally get control of our economy and be in a position where we can help incentivize jobs in the private sector. You know, I'm not for the government usurping the potential of the private sector. I want to see the government be the incubator of jobs. I want to see the government provide capital so that the private sector can go. It's what this hearing is about today, Solyndra. Does the government have a role at all in helping to incentivize growth in the economy? I think there is. Do we have an obligation to monitor how the money is spent? Absolutely.